The voice of the Lansing Lugnuts speaks. Jesse Goldberg Strassler joins to talk Leo De Vries, promotions, and Lansing's prospect invasion. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Booney, one name, all passion, and zero filter. And today, we got a special guest who knows the farm better than anyone, Jesse Goldberg Strassler, the voice of the Lansing Lugnuts. With the A's system in flux, we are tapping into Jesse's insight on all things high A, double A, and beyond. This is the kind of episode that puts the whole rebuild into focus. The trade deadline wasn't just about selling, it was about stocking the shelves, and Lansing just became the pantry. We're talking Leo De Vries, the number 3 prospect in all of baseball, fast risers, and the path to Vegas. If you care about the future of this team, this is the show that connects the dots. This episode is brought to you in part by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today and use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. Only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. Jesse Goldberg Strassler, the voice of the Lansing Lugnuts. Welcome back, buddy. How are you, sir?
Booney, thank you very much for having me. I'm good. I'm feeling real good. We're in mid-season form now.
Absolutely. To say the least, a lot of excitement going around in Lansing with Mr. De Vries.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to put it. At this point of the year, okay, so we've had guys move up. There's the push for the postseason. You hope that guys don't get too tired. And then suddenly the trade deadline hits, and we've got an injection of big-time energy and talent.
I bet. No question about it. Let's talk a little bit about De Vries. What kind of guy is he? Is he kind of quiet? Have you had a chance to meet him? Is he on the quiet side? Is he a jokester? Is he a leader? All that good stuff. He's 18 years old. So
yeah, exactly. Let's start there. He's 18. And something that I think really helps is Leo De Vries has a friend on the team, Darlene Montero, from the same hometown. Both of them are from Oshawa, Dominican Republic. That has made things comfortable, that he comes in and immediately hears Darlene, who he can connect with and talk to and relax and get comfortable with.
That's big.
He is a rock star.
Is he? Does he have that vibe to him? Does he have that presence?
Yes. There's just this feel as he walks around that, oh yeah, here's somebody passing through.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. Do you see that raw power on him? I mean, people have made comparisons to him and Lindor. Obviously, 18 years old. Do you see him having that type of potential if everything works out? And again, I hate putting that big P word on an 18-year-old, but hey, obviously all the hype's around him. And in your opinion, what's his weaknesses if he has any?
I think because he's so young that right now he can show flashes of brilliance and then he'll have a rough at bat. So it will be a good at bat. And then this pitcher with veteran wiles will simply surprise him. And you're just looking for that consistency with it. It's something that's going to come. And I think that for any switch hitter, you are just going to have an unbalanced number of at bats in the minor leagues. We might not see too many lefties for a week, for example. We'll take on a team that might have a lot of lefties, so he'll get some good practice from the right side. We'll take on a team with very few lefties, and suddenly he's just hitting lefty for the entire week. So how do you keep that swing consistent? How do you keep both swings developing together? But as far as Lindor goes, I saw Lindor come through the league on his way up through the Cleveland system, and there was some feel there. Okay,
really?
This looked good. This didn't look so good. He needed some time to develop too. So it's fun to see when the flashes are there, how good the flashes are. And I was talking to someone about how You know, when you get to see a transcendent basketball player and he
Sure.
puts up 18 with an off-shooting game, and you go,
Right.
boy, he couldn't find a shot today, but he still scored 18. That was De Vries. The very first game with us, he didn't do too much, but he got a base hit and he was hit by a pitch. Next game with us, it didn't do too much, but he got a base hit and here's a sac fly. Oh, here's an RBI triple and a base hit. Here's a base hit and a double. It's
Yeah.
one of those things where you just look at him and you go, these at-bats are stacking up. All the while, the defense, spot on. The defense looks smooth.
Really. Who would you compare him to? A Lindor defensively? Can you compare him to a Wilson? Who would you compare him to?
Jacob Wilson, when he arrived, was kinetic. He was always moving, whether in the batter's box or in the field,
Sure.
just jumping around all over the place. The word that comes to mind with Leo is tranquilo. He is so calm in the field. When the ball is hit to him, he takes it in with ease. He takes his time. That internal clock is working. And then the flick of the wrist over to first base. When he steps into the batter's box, everything about him is calm. He's unhurried. And that feels like, oh, this is more mature. This is a skill for a guy who's just relaxed and settled in that you don't see often from a guy his age.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I want to go to a pitcher. I'm going to actually want to talk about three pitchers, and I want to get your feel on them. One guy started today, Kenya Huggins, who we just received in the Miguel Andahar trade, I believe. And two other pitchers, 19 years old, Steven Echavarria. I never see his last name right. Echavarria.
Are you ready?
And Wei-En Lin. I've seen all of them pitch. They look electric. What's the ceiling on these three guys?
Oh, I think it's high. Let's begin with Kenya, because I've seen the list of him. Number one, great guy. Kenya Huggins, 6'3", 240 pounds, 22-year-old out of New Orleans. Great guy. Comes in, smile, you can feel his warmth. And when he got out to the mound, that arm looked electric. That stuff is coming in hard. It's jumping at the batter. And I think that we're only starting to skim the surface of what he could be. There looks like a high ceiling there. There looks like there's big time stuff that you can tap into. Keep in mind, you went from New Orleans off to junior college, off to Chipola, teammates there with Cam Collier, the Reds' first rounder. And then he's coming back from Tommy John 2023. So this is his first taste of high A. I think that there's a lot that the A's are going to have fun tapping into with his talent. He was throwing 96, 97, easy.
Is that
with
right?
The slider, with the change. So we're just getting started with what Kenya Huggins can be.
How about Steven? Yeah.
So Echavarria, he's from New Jersey. So you see that name, just go full Echavarria.
Echavarria, thank you. And for those that don't know, 2023 third-round pick out of high school. We drafted him as a 17-year-old. He's 19 right now, I believe.
Yes, and that is something very much to keep in mind, is that the A's are taking their time. They gave him a full year down in Stockton. It feels like they're giving him a full year here in Lansing. But in his right arm, Kevin McGonigal steps in. And McGonigal is a big-time Tigers prospect, maybe the best hitting prospect in all of minor league baseball. But Steven and McGonigal know each other. So Steven throws him 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
Just because he's got it. Now, does he have that in his back pocket? But we'll see him go 96, 97, 98. We'll see the slider. There is so much there. And it's a little bit like Kenya Huggins, where you go, oh, we're still in the early part of the development process. There's still some key development going on. But this guy's ceiling, it's up there.
Summer is heating up, and so are the A's. Whether it's late inning drama in Sacramento, towering homers in the desert heat, or betting on who's going yard next, FanDuel is the ultimate way to raise the stakes while your squad builds the next Vegas dynasty. You are already sweating through every pitch, tracking every prospect, and praying for a comeback in the ninth. Why not cash in on the chaos? With FanDuel, every game's a little more electric, even when the bullpen gets spicy. I've been using FanDuel to ride the highs and lows of every game, whether it's a Brett Rooker bomb or a Nick Kurtz towering homer. It makes every inning count. FanDuel's same game parlays are my go-to when I'm betting on Shea Langoliers to hit nukes and swipe a bag. That combo hit, instant dopamine. With fast payouts and in-game bets, I feel like I'm right in the dugout, minus the sunflower seeds and Gatorade showers. FanDuel, where even a Tuesday night A's game can feel like Game 7. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. There's two international prospects that you guys just saw from us, just got brought up from Stockton. Wei-En Lin and Su Shen Sha. And they were dominant in Stockton. I'm talking about numbers I've never seen before, like 60 strikeouts and 5 walks. It seems like Shaw has kind of taken a step back. His numbers don't look as sharp, as getting hit a little bit. But the other one, Lin, he looks dynamic. He looks like he's getting better. Both young.
So Shaw's 21. He's the old man with these guys that we're talking about with Etch and with Wei-En. With Shaw, just getting that command right, figuring things out with his stuff. He mastered Stockton. All right, so now he's in Lansing, and here's his next thing to learn. But last time he went to the mound, 4 hitless innings. So I'll take it. I think that he's a hard worker. He's got a mind for the big picture. After he got knocked around in his first outing in high A, I asked him through his interpreter, okay, what did he take away from that? And his answer was, look, my stuff is going to play here. This got exciting, but as long as I trust myself, as long as I keep on working, it's going to keep on working all the way up the ladder. So he right now is focusing, what should I do with the fastball? Elevated. What should I do with the slider, the change? Now, let's talk about the lefty.
Yes.
So you know how Leo De Vries has aura.
Yes.
Wei-En Lin has aura. He's
right?
Also a rock star.
Wow.
And so with the two guys from Taiwan, I've tried to respectfully say last name first, Lin Wei-En or
Sure.
Sha Tzu-chun. But for Wei-En, number one, in his glove, which is green for the A's, he put an A+ because he wanted to make sure that he got to the A advanced level. So I asked him, okay, what are you going to put for next year? And him and his interpreter looked at me, and there was this little hint of, oh yeah, we're going to put major leagues in there. But we'll see for next year. He throws a knuckle curve. He throws a Vulcan changeup where he arrived with a splitter. And then they said, scrap that. We're not seeing what we should be seeing from it. So then he switched to the Vulcan, and it's been devastating.
A Vulcan changeup.
Oh, yes. And he knows what he's doing. He gets out there and you go, oh, this guy knows exactly what he's up to on the mound. When we took on Leo De Vries, when De Vries was in the Padres system, Lin battled him in this 10-pitch at bat, where of the pitches, he threw 1 curve. Now, if the umpire hadn't been frozen, it's a called strike 3.
That's right.
Umpire
You guys played against De Vries.
Yeah. But because the umpire got frozen and called it a ball, Lin went back and he threw him fastball after fastball after fastball after fastball because he said to me later, I knew I could get this guy out with my fastball. And this is one of the best hitting prospects in the minor leagues.
Right.
So he's got the mind right. He's got the competitive nature right. His charisma, his friendliness. I love him. I think he's a guy that you need to be watching for moving forward.
Compare these guys, these pitchers, to who you saw earlier on this year as well was Luis Morales.
Oh yeah.
What's the comparison? Are they on the same type of level? Is one more advanced than the other? And also, based on your experience, it seems like the common question is when do you expect these guys to get called up? I mean, are we looking at a couple of years up? Is it up to the organization? Is everybody a little bit different?
Well, let's look at Gage Jump and let's look at Luis Morales, because I think that if we're on the same timeline and we're working via this timeline, Morales finishes last season with us. This year, now we've got that good timetable. Go to AA to start the year, then up to AAA, then to the major leagues. Gage Jump started this year with us. So
Sure.
he finishes the year in Double-A. We'll see if the A's decide to give him any time anywhere else, and that would be exciting if they did. But Gage Jump is likely, if all goes well, going to arrive in the major leagues next year. With these guys, because they're likely to finish the season with us this year, then you look at next year and you say, okay, so the target is Double-A, maybe Triple-A by the end of the year, and the major leagues the year after that. So I would say you finish the year with us. If you're Luis Morales, there's that chance that you might make the majors the next year, but we're looking 1 to 2 years away. I would put Steven Echavarria in the Morales box, where it's a guy with great stuff, learning how to use it.
Got it.
I'd put Wei-En Lin in the Gage Jump box, and that could be putting a little bit too much on him, because I think Gage Jump is really special. And when you've got Jamie Arnold and you've got Gage Jump, you've got 2 potential lefty aces, and then you've got this other lefty from Taiwan who he could be a potential major league starter too. That's pretty exciting.
That is very, very exciting. There's a couple guys that got brought up and got promoted to Double-A. And the question I get asked about more, the player I get asked about more than even De Vries or anybody, is Tommy Tanks White. He's gotten better with regard to hitting. It seems like he's batted around 260 with you guys doing the same thing around with Double-A. What's his upside, and where do you see Tanks at? Do you think he has a shot to make it?
So I don't think that he's a 260 hitter in actuality, but before we go further into that, last year, remember, he got drafted and he struggled with Stockton.
He did.
And this year, he actually struggles to start off the year in Lansing, and then he gets red hot, and then there's an injury. And I think that injury turned his season in a sideways direction. I'm excited to see him now up in Midland, and that he's finishing the year in Midland. And I expect next year that he'll start next year in Double-A. But from what I saw from him, I saw more pull power than I was expecting. I was expecting to see the majority of the power to be opposite field power. I saw a guy who, he told me he hates to strike out, and there would be certain games where the pitcher would get him, or certain games where he wasn't locked in. And there would be other games where you just knew he would carve the ball to the right side, or he'd figure it out. His swing is different from a lot of guys, and he's still very young. So watching his offense develop and watching him figure things out, because a big goal coming into this year was swing decision-making.
Yes.
I think that it's going to be fascinating to watch him as he moves forward, because his swing and his offensive game, when he was locked in Lansing, it was exciting. It was like watching a guy who's too good for the league. So we'll see more consistency, I think, from him moving forward. And then next year, I'm really excited to see it. All the while he gets more and more reps at third base.
I got to ask you about this, and I've seen a handful of games with Tommy White. What is going on with his defense? I mean, he made 13, 14 errors in Lansing, and I was like, okay, he got brought up to Double-A. That's going to get cleaned up. It's the same thing. I mean, he's up to close to 20 errors, fielding, throwing, you name it. Is it more of a mechanics type of thing, a mental thing, or is he just not interested in defense?
I think the offense is ahead of the defense.
Yeah.
That's what the minor leagues is for. By the time that he arrives in the major leagues, you want to make sure that his game is major league ready. And this is the gloriousness of the minor league system,
right?
That you can say, okay,
yeah,
if
right.
you want to move forward, if this is what we need to work on here. And for each of these guys, they've got things to work on that we can see the major league tool. With time, it's easy to see the major league bat and the major league power. And now this is the time to keep on getting those reps, to keep on putting that time in. So when the time comes to call him up to the major leagues, then he'll be ready.
Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold, great ginger and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you are sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest. Some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. One day, I was playing in a golf tournament in a team match type format. Match was tied on the 16th hole, and I step up to the par 3, flag to the right, and tree to the left. I hit a good, solid tee shot, but it went left. And believe it or not, it deflects right off the tree and rolls into the hole. True story. If you go to 5hourenergy.com, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you are meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. He is the only guy that has moved up 2 spots in he's gone from single A to double A and now is in triple A. And when I see him pitch, he is absolutely electric. And I have, in my mock type of deals that I do, I have him as the 2028 closer in Vegas, and that's Gustavo Rodriguez. What's the story on Gustavo? He spent some time in Lansing. When I saw him, he was unreal, but I just can't figure him out and where he came from. And, what's people missing on him? Or are they?
Well, the fascinating thing, the A's signed him twice, right? They signed him early on in the offseason, and then he gets plucked right out of the organization by the Rule 5 draft. And then he gets released. And the A's go, I guess we'll sign you again, Gustavo. Here we go.
Yeah.
When he arrived in Lansing, it looked too easy. And so challenge him in double A. Well, that's still too easy. Challenge him in triple A. This is a right-hander who has big velocity, who knows what he's doing. What a great free agent signing.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you think he has a shot? Is he on the shot? I mean, would you compare him to like a Elvis Alvarado who's already up there, or is he better? Is he different? He doesn't have a huge stature. In other words, he's 6'2", he's kind of lengthy, he's long. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know what to make of Gustavo, but all I know is he's allowed 1 run, I think, in 20 something innings in all 3 levels.
Yeah, he's a truck out there. It's generally the fastball, the slider, understanding when to use, what to use, how to set that batter up. But the velo can get big. Yeah, I think he and Alvarado are 2 different pitchers. I do think that he's going to get a chance. And right now, the A's, the pitchers that they're targeting, they're looking at some high velocity guys to be swing and miss, overpowering types out of their bullpen. And that to me is exciting, because if you hit, and there's no guarantee that you do, but if you hit, you've got yourself a power wipeout guy at the back end.
Speaking of hitters, the one guy that did get demoted, and I was so surprised and disappointed, because when I saw him play, it seemed like it was just a matter of time. He looked to me like a future Lawrence Butler, and that's California's 4th-round pick out of University of California, Rodney Green. Just couldn't get it together in Lansing and seems to be struggling a little bit right now in Stockton. What's going on with Rodney?
Well, it's worth remembering that Lawrence Butler had a terrible 2019 season.
Sure.
It wasn't good. And then 2021, he showed up and knocked everybody's socks out. Number 1, Rodney Green Jr., great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. He got overmatched in Lansing. He got off to a great start. He hit 4 home runs in a week. So the power is there. The speed is there. High A pitchers overmatched him. Now he's down in single A, just to get that confidence back, to get the swing back. Very first pitch that he saw with Stockton, he homered. And this is all part of, okay, let's get the confidence going in the right direction and let's figure out the swing. It's tough to do swing adjustments mid-season, especially when at the very start of the year, there were good things going on in April, and then pitchers and changing speed could get him off balance. Now, he was drawing walks the whole time. He could work the count the whole time, and it's fascinating to watch his batting eye. But this is the sort of year where a player finds the level that they're ready for now, and then this is going to be an interesting offseason for Rodney to see how he comes back next year. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him right back in Lansing to open up next year and to see how ready is he for the Midwest League in 2026. Because the power speed combo is real. That's big power, and big power to all fields.
The one guy I want to talk about that I I feel might be getting overlooked in this whole De Vries and the whole A's infield outlook, right? When you look at their outlook, you pretty much have Kurtz at first and Wilson at short or up the middle. No one's really debating any of that right now. Muncy looks like the next guy up at either second or third. And I feel like the guy everybody is kind of overlooking a little bit is Joshua Kuroda-Grauer. Does he have the type of game that complements or can compete with a De Vries or for one of those spots up the middle? Or is that power still lacking?
Well, the glove is major league.
It
The
is.
defense is major league shortstop defense.
Okay.
And the bat, the man gets hits. And the
He
man
does.
gets hits up the middle. The man gets hits to right center. So the next step is when you look at the overall slash line, adding more walks. He never strikes out, a la Jacob Wilson, but you'd love some more walks. And you'd also love, like Wilson added power. I'm interested to see as Joshua gets older, will he add more power? The doubles numbers turn nice in Lansing. Suddenly the doubles started to pop up and up. I think that there's more power that he can tap into. But the hitting ability is awesome. And the defensive ability, he's got to be one of the best defensive shortstops in minor league baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about Ryan Lasko, who's another big time prospect for the A's. Another young kid, got drafted out of high school. What's his upside? How good can he be?
Well, the A's love their toolsy outfielders. It's so interesting to see the box of the infielders who never strike out, who play good defense, and just put their bat on the ball. And then in the outfield, you've got guys who are fast and they're strong.
Yeah.
Whether it's the power speed of Green, or it's the power speed of Henry Bolte, or it's the power speed of Colby Thomas, or power speed of Denzel Clark, right? You can go right on down the line. And Gavin Turley, whom they just drafted, is a power speed guy. And Pedro Pineda, by the way, is a power speed guy.
There's another guy, yeah.
Ryan Lasko is a power speed guy. There's great power to tap into, but you love him to get on because there's so much speed. And he is an excellent defensive center fielder with a strong arm. Like that arm is a hose. And I just need to let the infielders know, get to the bag. The Lasko throw will find you at the bag. There's going to be a play because he is going to be gunning right for the bag.
Yeah.
Love the power, love the speed, love the arm, love the defense. It's all about getting more consistent at home plate. But there are so much tools, and the tools get loud.
Speaking of speed, Cameron Leary just got brought up to High A Lansing, and he leads the whole A's organization at every level in stolen bases. He's struggling a little bit with the bat in High A. He started slow and actually in Stockton and really got hot. Last year, 10th round pick out of BC. Does he have a shot? I mean, or is he just getting overmatched right now?
He's got a shot.
Yeah.
And here's why he's got a shot. And by the way, with Stockton, 27 doubles, 9 home runs.
Yes.
He's power speed.
Yes.
He's a power speed outfielder. Here's why he's got a shot. Whenever he gets on and he draws walks and he gets hits, I can turn to my broadcast partner and I can say, how many pitches before he takes second? And in general, our answer has been 2, that he watches the first one and then he's gone and you can't stop him from taking second base. So when I see a guy who's that much of a force on the bases, who also has that kind of thunder in his bat, that all we need to do is just clean up a little of this, right? Just to get more hits or get him on more often. That's the fun of the minor leagues. There are tools there that are major league tools. So here are the weaknesses and what are we going to do something with? Boy, that's the fun of single A and high A and double A.
Sure. It's a cool level, isn't it? Yeah.
If Cameron Leary, if he just gets on a little bit more, or if he strikes out a little bit less, or if he taps into the power a little bit more, the speed is major league speed. It's awesome.
You think Cole Miller will be up in High A soon?
Ooh, good question, because he had missed the time. He's with Stockton, and whenever I check in with him, he's not allowing any hits or any runs.
No, he's not. He's killing it right now. I mean, his numbers with the Ports are he's 6 games. He started 21 2/3 innings, 20 hits. He's allowed 4 runs, 1.66 ERA.
What they did with Echavarria last year, where he got to spend the whole season with Stockton, it wouldn't surprise me if they say to Cole, look, finish off the season in Stockton. We don't want your innings to be too high, and then you're right on pace for Lansing next year. Because kind of subtly, under the radar, the A's have been building starting pitching depth. You've got the trade with the Padres, and now we add Baez and we add Net. And
Yes.
meanwhile, Junior Tour is pitching really well in Double-A.
Double-A, he is, yeah.
Right? So we've got guys, here's Gage, or here's Corey Avant establishing himself as a good starting arm for Lansing.
He had a great outing today. Was it today, I believe it was?
Just in general, in the month of July, Avant fired 25 innings, and he allowed runs in only 2 of them.
Jesus.
Kenya Huggins, starting pitching prospect right now, just traded for. So there are all these guys, Wei-En Lin, Suchun Shah, and you can keep on going down. When Donnie Chaconis, who's on the injured list, or Jefferson Jr., there's so many candidates filling up the organization. What a great problem to have, that if there's a spot that opens up in Lansing for Cole to make his high A debut before the year comes to an end, great. But I think that right now, and especially going into next year, once the 2025 draft picks get integrated, there's going to be competition for starting spots.
Jesse, I love always giving shout outs to guys that I watch that seem to bring it every day, that don't necessarily have a number by their name, but play in the games and always bring something to the team. And that's Casey Yamamuchi. Tell me about the kid from Elo.
Okay.
It seems like every time I'm tuning in, he's doing something different. He's always in the mix. And all of a sudden, it takes you a while, but you're like, what's the deal with this kid?
D2 undrafted free agent from Hawaii.
Elo, yep.
How many D2 undrafted from free agents from Hawaii are there in professional baseball?
0 that I know of.
So he's in the A's box of infielder who never strikes out and puts bat on the ball and plays tremendous defense. His defense is stellar. Great speed that shows up defensively. But
25 Ks and 319 at bats. I'm just looking at that. Amazing. Anyway,
remember when you and I spoke earlier this year and you asked me about strikeouts, and I said, Lansing strikes out fewer than any team in professional baseball. And it's still the case. We don't strike out. Just to show you how well he's trusted, he's been batting 3rd in our order.
I saw that.
There's just something about his bat to ball skills. It makes me think he must be an incredible wiffle ball player with the way he puts bat to ball. But the defense is so spectacular. He's a grinder and a hard worker. And this year he's received that opportunity. Every single day you play second base. And I think that that's been really valuable for him.
Yeah. I mean, I like him a lot. He is absolutely amazing. Give me some final thoughts. What do you think of, obviously with the Miller trade and the Mason Miller trade, a lot of it has to do with how hard these kids are throwing and the potential injuries that they can possibly face. Is it still a game, you believe, where throw as hard as you can and swing as hard as you can, or does it change from level to level?
Well, I think that we don't swing that hard in terms of putting bat on the ball. But I think that there's more nuance when it comes to pitching than just throw as hard as you can.
Gotcha.
It's more, how are you going to get this batter out?
Sure.
Are you going to attack him, get ahead, put him away? How competitive are you out there on the mound? And now from there, are we making sure that you're tapping into what your body is capable of? And that is in each way. Are we making sure that we've got the right shapes in effect for your changeup or your splitter and your breaking ball? Should we introduce a curve? Should we take away a curve, introduce a slider, take away a slider? What kind of slider should you have? Should you have a sweeper, a cutter? And there's so much that goes into what should a pitcher's stuff be and how do you get these batters out? So I don't think it's simply, all right, let's throw as hard as possible. I do think that it's very much, we need to keep on developing as many pitching prospects as possible, because I do believe the cliche that a pitching prospect will break your heart. It's so tough to keep pitchers healthy, and that's every single organization.
Yeah, everybody.
So the more pitching prospects that the A's develop, the better. But it has been fun this year to see so many pitching prospects emerge.
Before we call it a day, any particular guys you like, any sleepers out there for everybody to keep an eye on?
I think Avant is a guy for people to keep in their back pocket.
Okay.
I think Mark Adamiak is
from Arkansas.
Guy.
Yeah.
Pedro Pineda received $2.5 million to sign. And
Okay.
then his progress up through the system has been hiccuped. He went up to Stockton. He came back down from Stockton. Came up to Stockton, excelled, got injured. But let me tell you, in watching him on the field playing in Lansing,
He's had a hell of a start.
do you know how going into the NFL draft and you start hearing all these scouting terms, or Major League Baseball draft, you hear all these scouting terms, and one of them is twitched up? Pedro Pineda is twitched up.
Really?
He is lightning on the bases, in the field. I did not realize that he had the kind of speed that he has. He's had competitive at-bats. It's fun to watch him in the outfield, even though he's young. He dropped a fly ball the other day with a lapse of concentration.
Sure.
But he's another guy. The ceiling is gigantic, and I don't want people to forget about him.
Pedro Pineda. Awesome. Jesse Goldberg Strassler, the best in the business, voice of the Lansing Lugnuts. Thank you so much, my friend.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to talk A's.
Absolutely. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast.